Ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought there's no way production could rig this final any further for Team UK, I saw more than enough evidence tonight to suggest they had multiple fail-safes in place just in case somehow Team USA was able to overcome the negative hurdles or handicaps, if you will, of stage one of this final. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 12th and final Challenge 34 Rant. I am your humble host, Dave Smith, and this is Recency Bias Radio, ladies and gentlemen, where no one is safe from criticism. This episode will be entitled Beaten, Battered, and Bruised, ladies and gentlemen, because from what I saw tonight, Team US, just for cutting off the distance and catching up to Team UK the way they did, they deserve to win this season. Yeah, I said it, because if you do the math, ladies and gentlemen, Team USA won this competition if it was officiated fairly, ladies and gentlemen. In this episode, I'm going to break down how TJ and production systematically work their way into guaranteeing Team UK would win no matter what. They guaranteed it to the point where even if they lost Tori, they still had no chance of winning. I mean, this has to be the first final I can remember where a team can win the final and not have to complete a single puzzle the entire episode. I mean, this is just disrespectful to the integrity of the game. And shout outs to them mighty mods, by the way. Shout outs to all the viewers. I got a lot of Eminem's Hive butthurt, so please keep your eyes on this live chat because there could be some trolls, ladies and gentlemen, that don't even watch the challenge. Now, the first thing I got a problem with, ladies and gentlemen, is, this season did a terrible job of pushing Paulie and Cara as the strongest duo, as the strongest showmans. They allowed Jordan and Tori to be perceived as the strongest duo, but what was the duo? What was the showmans that lasted the longest, ladies and gentlemen? Paulie and Cara. But if you were to read into this edit, we would all assume one of them would drop off and it would be Tori and Jordan at the end. Hell, that was my main prediction. I thought both of them would be in the winner circle. No one saw D winning the game, and that's where we got to give D some credit. And ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to like the video as you watch so more people can get this greatness on their channel, on their activity feed, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, this episode begins with Paulie exhausted from the last episode. He's going through the whole Metal Gear Solid 4. We talked about this, the radiation phase, right? He's crawling. But the credit we got to give Paulie here tonight is you got all these players from Zach to Leroy. They're saying he's dead. You got Cam saying, Paulie, just drop out of the competition. Just drop out. Give us the best chance. And if it wasn't for Paulie, when it came to that next puzzle, they would have been blown out the water completely. So it's a good thing Paulie has a can't go back gene. And see, that's the thing. When Paulie is a soccer player, they go through so much adversity in one game. They run so many kilometers, so many miles at high intensity. I knew Paulie was not going to quit. I had a sneaky suspicion he could be forced to medevac. And on tonight's episode, you even heard TJ Lavin go out of his way to say, I got my eyes on you, Paulie, after Paulie was throwing up near that snake pit. So understand, I think TJ wanted to medevac Paulie 100%, but I think Paulie showed no signs of weakness after he was throwing up, and because of it, TJ and production in lockstep had no reason to kick Paulie out of the game. And good thing they didn't, because let's be honest here, if you take Paulie off that team towards the closing moments of that final, look, Team UK would have been able to crawl to a title. Okay, Paulie he was the equalizer here. And see, that's what makes Paulie so sensational to me, because he would have never blown himself out and been so exhausted if, and we brought this up in the last episode, if the, I forgot the name of it. If the things they were holding in the bamboo, I forgot the actual name. Hey, comment below and let me know what the name of that stuff is again, because I forgot the name. I remember it got gate in front of it. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for them rigging the competition to put so much extra weight on Team USA's gurney, there it is. I knew it would come to me as I kept talking. Because they put so much weight on that gurney, because Paulie was carrying his side by himself and no women was really helping him in that effort. Understand, the majority of that weight was leaning on him and he was going to be exhausted. But I'm not going to focus on the Paulie that we saw last week, because production did something very sneaky to me. By not making this final a 2-hour finale, they wanted us to clown Paulie for a week. Understand that, ladies and gentlemen, because if they would have allowed this all to go in one episode in one night, no one would have had the balls to clown Paulie because they would have seen him rise from the ashes in the same night. By them waiting 7 days, letting people stew and steam on it, they almost tried to justify why they're not inviting him back for 35. Understand the con game there, ladies and gentlemen. See, production think they slick, you know. I don't remember a lot of challenge finales that are only 1 hour long. You know, I was shocked so many episodes were an hour and a half, but I remember challenge finales in the past being an hour and a half, 2 hours to get it on out the way. You know, we see all the stages usually in one go. For them to split it up, ladies and gentlemen, they wanted to gas up Jordan and Tori, and they wanted to clown Paulie. And see, the thing is, imagine how bad Paulie and Tori would look if this all happened in one episode, the last 2 episodes. They spent so much time clowning Paulie for being physically exhausted, and here you got Tori and Jordan. They couldn't complete a single puzzle the whole night. Well, Jordan completed one puzzle. Let's keep it real. Tori couldn't complete a single puzzle. Tori had 3 straight puzzles tonight. She couldn't complete either one. She had the one where you had to put the little boulders on top of the little pyramid. Couldn't do that. Then she had another one where each person had 12 different puzzles, and it was 4 people left versus 4 people left. She couldn't complete that puzzle. Then at the end of the game, her team couldn't complete that puzzle either. And see, I'm going to get into conspiracy theory about that in a second, ladies and gentlemen, but let's keep going in chronological order, why don't we? Now, Team UK, of course, makes it to another puzzle stage and they begin panicking. But like I said, if TJ had made UK have an extra 10-minute penalty for what D did last episode, Team USA probably would have caught up at this moment. And when you take into account how Paulie was able to decipher a puzzle that the entire Team UK couldn't decipher on their own, it just goes to show why they went out of their way to hold back Team USA during stage 1. Then when you add the fact that there was a 5-minute advantage added for whoever won stage 1, oh, well, ding, ding, ding. Now you got the explanation why they went so hard to rig stage 1, why they didn't win it 4 versus 4 in stage 1, why they didn't just make it an individual game after stage 1. And instead of making it 4 versus 4, why don't you make it an individual game and just let the best 8 go through? Because they wanted Tori and Jordan to have a chance to be in the winner's circle together, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, we'll get into that in a second. But you know me, man. I can't stop the freestyle sometimes. Now, so understand, ladies and gentlemen, that extra 10 minutes TJ did not give Team UK played a vital role in this final. A vital role in this final. Because at the end of the day, it's the difference in who finished stage 1 first. So Team USA's gurney completely breaks, ladies and gentlemen, as Team UK times out of their puzzle. And see, I hate this timeout rule. I believe when it's a team puzzle, y'all should have to stay there until y'all can complete it. If we got to stay here with a broken gurney and carry bags and automatically be deducted 10 minutes, even though our gurney broke because the other team broke the rules first, but you're saying we broke the rules because we're dealing with the consequences of the other team breaking the rules versus us. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, the cause and effect of that, they let Team UK get away with murder there. Seriously. Oh, we're going to charge you 10 minutes, even though we should charge you 20. Then we're going to charge USA 10 minutes when we should have charged you 20. So understand, that's a double negative of minus 20 minutes that Team USA had to overcome there alone. Then add the 5 minutes in the last stage. Team US was behind a double negative of negative 25, y'all. And they still only lost by seconds. But y'all telling me Team UK is the better team? You need to stop it. You need to stop it. The eye test tonight showed all of us Team USA was the better team, even with production doing everything in their power to make sure Team UK could be the team that strives in the long run. And see, that's what makes me feel so bad for these players. Because it's like, bro, I understood why Cara was crying. She was robbed. Understand, ladies, she was robbed, bro. She was robbed of one of the best games beginning to end of all time. I don't care how you feel about her as a person. Her gameplay strictly from an A to B standpoint was as close to flawless as possible. And when you add the context of production not being on her side, imagine how good they would have played if they had production on their side. Bro, that would have been a Johnny Bananas game. You feel what I'm saying? That would have been a Sarah game. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to drive that point home. So So Team USA finally makes it to the puzzle stage, but by now Team UK have already timed out and they're on to new things, and they're basically, on their way to the snake pit, basically. Paulie pulls off one of the most heroic feats in challenge finale history, in my opinion, by single-handedly completing a puzzle nobody on Team UK was anywhere close to understanding. Team USA would have won this comp if it wasn't rigged. The extra weighted gurney, plus the 10-minute penalty that wasn't given, and plus the last puzzle combined for so much lost time. Jordan and CT claim to be so smart, but on an even playing field, neither can compete with Paulie's intellect. This episode truly showed Paulie is top tier from a competition standpoint. See, all these other players, if they were in Paulie's position, let's keep it a bean right now, they would have quit. They wouldn't have had the mental capabilities to still complete that puzzle and keep their head in the game. But Paulie is a legit athlete, and athletes deal with sports psychologists. Paulie kept his head in the game, and he went for the kill. And if it wasn't for production going out of their way to charge Team USA with another 10 minutes, I'm telling y'all, bruh, they would have burnt UK. It would have been ugly, and it would have looked like the biggest choke job in finale history. Because when you look at how far ahead UK was, bro, they was easily, from the view I saw in tonight's episode, they showed like an overhead view. I believe it was from a helicopter or a chopper, or maybe it was from an airplane. I'm assuming a chopper based off how they shot it. But you could see Team USA walking, and you could see Team UK all the way down. And it looked like they was down like a good, let's say from a city perspective, they was down at least 4 blocks. So understand, Team USA made up all that time, bruh, with broken bamboo, with rigged officiating, with penalties that wasn't necessary to be given to them. Like, this is crazy. Now, production set Team USA up to have to break the rules and then blame them more than Team UK for why their bamboo broke. But what good are rules without context? If one team breaking the rules forces the other team to, the team who has no choice at least deserves their penalty to be cut in half. But instead, TJ pulled a fast one by cutting Team UK's penalty in half by ignoring what D did. You see what I'm doing there? Should have been 20, ends up being 10. Now, Team UK is brought to a camp of beds surrounded by a snake pit. They have to pick someone to stay on the bed, and the rest must stay on the stairs, and they must alternate. This looked like a waste of a part in the final. To be honest, it looked like they were thinking of, okay, what stage can we create so the players can get some rest, but they can still be challenged mentally? They came up with this makeshift snake pit stuff. It looked really trash. If I'm being honest, it didn't really serve a purpose. It really didn't serve a purpose. It's like, oh, we just want them to chill out and rest for a little while. I prefer the finals where you make them stand in groups of twos and hold on to each other on like a real narrow platform and stuff, because that takes some teamwork, right? That takes some camaraderie. But they didn't even make them do that. Like, this part of the competition felt like filler to me. It felt unnecessary, like 100%. Now, and understand, this was before they shaved the numbers down from 7 versus 5 to 4v4. Now, peep game as Zach. Now, see, I want to point this part out, because after they got done with stage 1, of course, Team UK is already at the snake pit by the bed, and they're already doing their time. Zach admits through confessional that he was in a rush to beat the rest of Team USA to the snake pit so he could have time away from them. Ladies and gentlemen, I call BS here. I think Zach was in a rush because he's such a Jordan fanboy and follower. He was going to run up to Jordan and Tori and give them all the tea on what's been going wrong on USA. This is the guy who acts like he's trying to win, and yet he's doing things that's helping UK have a psychological advantage over his team. And if it wasn't for Ashley being close behind him, Zach would have said something. But you notice on today's episode, Zach ran up. He got up to the snake pit and he didn't say nothing because Ashley was there. Understand, Ashley may have preserved the final as much as she did by being as quick as she was, by not trusting Zach. And that's why I got to give Ashley some credit. Maybe that's something in the edit you didn't pay attention to, but y'all know the Rant God noticed it. You feel it, dig me? Now, so Zach, he think he's slick out here. He basically trying to snitch to Team UK. You know, just beta male behavior. You know, he wants to be around Tori so bad. You know, Jenna, keep him on a leash. Anyway, Team USA fully joins the next stage, and of course, the classless Jordan and Tori love the fact Paulie's body is breaking down. This was around the time Paulie started throwing up around the snake pit. Now, Jordan even said Paulie thought he was the Burger King. I was like, huh? The Burger King. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't tell if this was poor product placement or if Jordan was serious. Then right after that, we see an affiliate of Burger King, a KFC commercial. I'm like, I don't know, bruh. And then when you add the context of Jordan being an extension of production, that felt like a forced line, bro. I've never heard Paulie once say, I'm the Burger King. He's not corny like you are, bro. Like, I'm the Burger King. Like, what? Who says that? Man, I want to win this season so I could be the Burger King. Like, dog, this ain't Toy Story. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, that's just something I noticed. It was lame, you know. So yeah, so Jordan's out here trying to clown Paulie essentially, you know, but by comparing him to a fast food restaurant. I don't know if that was him trying to say Paulie's out of shape subtly, subliminally, but it was just a lame joke regardless. Now, TJ reveals the next stage will consist of 12 puzzles, one for each player. CT even mentions how it's possible Team USA could lose their 3 strongest members. Ladies and gentlemen, didn't I say last week this is why I hated this twist? Because in theory, you could lose your 3 strongest people and and Team UK only loses 1 person. Remember I said that? How is that fair in any way? How is that fair? You are penalizing us for having more people in stage 1. Then you're penalizing us for making it through stage 1 for rising above the handicap you gave us. And then you penalize us again by making us lose almost 50% of our numbers. So the advantage that was a disadvantage, now all of a sudden you want to make it even because now it's such a built up lead, we can't make up the difference. And here's the scary part. Team USA still made up the difference. How can you micromanage a finale so hard to guarantee a team wins and they still have to rely on a 5-minute advantage? That shows how trash UK is, bruh. Like, I'm speaking facts right now. Like real talk, bro. So this is why I hated this twist. Once again, the better team is at a clear disadvantage. Why couldn't they just make this final a singles competition and let the best 8 from either team move forward at this stage? Ding, ding, ding. But see, that would be too much like fair. See, that would be too much like fair. Because understand, they wanted Jordan and Tori together. So they had to make this 4 versus 4 to guarantee Jordan and Tori had an 80% chance to be in the final 4. Think about the numbers of that. They only have a 20% chance of not being in it. Meanwhile, poor Leroy and Cam, neither one makes it. Poor Ashley, she don't make it. But UK, because y'all been trash all season, y'all just lose 1 person. See, if you really wanted to make it fair, you would make them lose the same amount of people. All right, y'all lose 3, they lose 3. You're down to 2, they're down to 4. They couldn't do that. Because once again, that lowers the percentages of Jordan and Tori being at the end. See, I'm just trying to show y'all how they get down. Because they tried so hard to rig it that it's almost comedic justice in a way. It's ironic justice for Tori to be the one who chokes on this competition at this moment. Because this competition was built for her and Jordan to win. You see what I'm saying? So for her to be clowning Paulie for being physically exhausted, and then she's in pristine shape, she's perfectly fine, and she can't do a puzzle that Ninja completed first. Think about that. Think about how much Ninja has been criticized all season by all these players that was part of that pregame alliance. Ninja completed that puzzle before anybody else did. Tori was the last one to complete that puzzle. Well, along with, of course, Cam, Leroy, and Ashley. But you get my point. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, she allowed D to complete that puzzle on her team before her. Tori is a complete flop. Tori spent this entire season saying, I just want to win. Then eventually after the proposal, oh, we need a new house. Then she gets eliminated because she chokes. And you notice how that energy changed? And she said, well, as long as Jordan wins, I win. No. You're not allowed to use that revisionist history perspective now. You've been talking so much hot shit all season, coach. You don't get to choke and then say, well, I win no matter what as long as Jordan does. That's whack. Do you think Paulie or Cara would have had that mentality if they got eliminated right there? No, they would have been disappointed because they ain't there with a significant other because they wanted to win it together. Tori and Jordan this entire season been kissing the ass about how they're going to win it together. You choke at the last second. You got Jordan before the commercial break. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Looking like a straight up simp. Boy, if you don't run your ass to the damn ocean and swim. Like, I'm looking at Jordan like, boy, you look crazy. Come on, baby. Like, Jordan, you're the last one left, coach. You shouldn't want your baby to hurry up. She gonna beat you. It was almost like he thought Tori could teleport to the boat as long as she completed the puzzle. Bro, D, Rogan, and CT was ahead so far, bro. It was between you and your lady, dog. You should stop looking back and say, come on, baby. And you should say, tough break. It's always FUBU. He should have dipped off on her ass. And see, here's my thing. If y'all just going to share the money anyway, what you saying? Come on, baby. You should have been saying, I got this for both of us, babe. See, that would have been more alpha male to me. That would have been doper. But of course, I wouldn't be shocked if production said, hey, Jordan, Tori, she's still suffering on this puzzle. We're going to need you to say, come on, baby, because we're going to go to commercial break here. You know, ads, they pay the bills. So can you say, come on, baby, like a beta male a couple of times? I'm sure all of the middle-aged Caucasian white women will love that. Thank you. You know, and basically that's what it is. I mean, I'm just calling it what it is, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. Come on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude look like a goofball out here in these streets. I just got to keep it a bean. Like, you don't get to be this extra, oh, we're going to pull this off. You made a mistake by not keeping us on USA. And then when things hit the fan, come on, baby. Come on, baby. And see, you notice how they ain't even freeze the kid. And still I started frying Jordan. Come on, baby. I'm looking at the Wi-Fi. Come on, baby. I should have named this Rant. Come on, baby. You feel the dig me, coach? He looked like a damn fool. You willing to risk your own place in the game just so your girl can win a season for once? Jordan, you look like a clown. You look like a clown. Y'all did all of that doubting D, and she just washed your girl, Jordan. Washed her. Boy, D was on the boat by the time Tori got to the shore clapping. You got this, Jordan. Like he can hear her or something. You got this. Like, boy, if you don't calm your cheerleading ass down, you feel it, dig me? Like, nah. See, we got to fry them right now because this is the last opportunity to fry them of this season, okay? You don't get to talk all that hot stuff, clown Paulie for why his team don't win. Tori completely chokes. I got people in my mentions on Twitter saying, trying to feed me spoilers. Oh, but Jordan wins the game and Paulie doesn't. So who really chokes? Like, bro, Paulie was knocked out. They said he was dead last episode. And he almost willed his team single-handedly back and won it if it wasn't for another rigged disadvantage. And you're out here trying to say Paulie choked? Are you kidding me? See, this goes to show me people ain't even watching the episode, bruh. They just watching for the moments they read spoilers on. And that's the problem. The spoiler stuff need to stop because it's affecting how people grade the game in the moment. Because if they already know what's going to happen after, they don't care about the journey. I got people telling me Tori didn't choke, Paulie did, even though Tori clearly choked, bro. Like, if Paulie didn't complete that puzzle, okay, you would have a point. He choked because he got eliminated before the Final Four, before it was 4v4. But the way he rose above it, brought his team back through a puzzle, then completed another puzzle, he got Leroy salty. You know, Leroy's like, I can't believe this mug dang near quitting the last phase, and he's passed me up. And I'm like, hey, man, you need to practice your puzzles, coach. You feel me? People on Big Brother, they always practice puzzles. People on Survivor always practice puzzles. Leroy, this was your 11th season. We would expect you, of all people, to have puzzles knocked down, had that mastered at this point, because how many seasons you've done. I'm actually disappointed Leroy didn't do better in the puzzle phase, if I'm being honest. Because you look at a guy like CT, he seems to have his way with puzzles, except that puzzle at the beginning that Paulie was the only one able to accomplish. CT, for the most part, seems to be very good at puzzles because of all the seasons he's done. He knows what to look for. He knows what kind of shapes to build around with. It's almost like Tetris, the majority of these puzzles, you know? So, you know, I got to hold Leroy accountable there. But no shame in where Leroy and Cam got eliminated at. Because if it wasn't for such a rigged final, if it wasn't such a bad rule set and rule book, they would have allowed the best 8 to go past. Now, technically speaking, well, actually, we don't know. Because technically, as soon as Zach left, Leroy and Cam and Ashley all knew they lost already. If it would have just been the best 8, who knows? After Zach and Jordan get up and dip, if they know it's just the best 8, maybe they don't quit. We don't know. I mean, it seems like it would have been the same finish regardless if it was the best 8. But the fact that they didn't tell them it could be the best 8, you could tell it ruined the confidence of the players. The more each person said, check, check, and they said correct, and they start sprinting. That put more pressure on the next person. That put more pressure on the next person because now they know they're against a timer right now. Okay, but that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, so at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, they could have did a lot of things like trimming the numbers down before stage 1, but they couldn't do it because they wanted to see Jordan and Tori in the winner's circle. Their plan backfired, though, because Tori chokes. Leroy, Cam, Ashley, and Tori all get eliminated. Paulie and Cara prove they were always the strongest couple as a result of this. Tori tries to deflect, and I mentioned this. She tries to deflect how she choked by making it seem as if, oh, as long as Jordan wins, I win. But, she ain't talking about no house no more. So obviously she like, well, I got to be on my best behavior. Jordan got all the power in this relationship now. To be honest, he had the power in this relationship anyway because he's had money. And y'all had to change the narrative on Jordan that he was broke for the past couple of episodes. Y'all letting this man do a sex change. Y'all letting him do all this stuff just so he could have this moment on this yacht. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. But I'm not going to rehash those talking points. Now, the next stage and final stage is called Chain Gang, where all 4 members get chained together and have to run a lap around the island. Peep game how TJ gives Team UK another 5-minute head start in this final stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this would confuse me. I'm thinking in my head, okay, TJ, you've allowed them to skate by with what D did with 10 minutes. Then you charge Team USA a 10-minute penalty for the bamboo that broke as a result of essentially what CT did to them and D. And now you're giving a 5-minute head start on top of that based off who finished stage 1 first. Like, I can't help but look at this and go, bruh, that's overkill. They're already ahead. I feel like, ladies and gentlemen, this is just how I feel. Now, TJ could have announced if you win stage 1, you get a 5-minute head start in stage 2. He could have said that. Maybe I didn't notice it in the first episode. If he did say that, I apologize. But I personally believe if Team USA was in the lead heading into that final stage, they would have got no 5-minute head start. That's how I believe. That's just what I believe. Because the way this looked, it looked like TJ was improvising as he went. From telling Paulie, I'm keeping my eyes on you. Like as soon as Paulie is dominating and single-handedly does a puzzle by himself, now you wondered about his health? You wasn't wondering about his health when he was dead on that damn trail. But you worried about his health after he pulled off one of the most heroic challenge puzzle, just one-man army moves of all time. Now you wondering if he's okay because he threw up a bit? I don't know, TJ. That almost looked like, oh, he's playing too well. Let's hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button. That's what it looked like, TJ. It looked like you was tempted to hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button because Paulie was about to do something unimaginable. He was finna come back down 3-1 on y'all and hit the Kyrie Irving step back. That's what it looked like. It looked like they were scared he was going to pull a Kyrie. That's what it looked like, bruh. Like, I'm just calling it, it's almost like you make a man foul out the game early because you're like, man, you cooking too much, bro. Come on now. It's like that almost. But anyway, so during this chain gang stage, they get the 5-minute head start. So in other words, TJ gave them a 15-minute buffer through the whole final. So damn rigged. And if you look at the double negative and how that impacted USA, I've already said that's a negative 25 disadvantage. So plus 15, negative 25, based off the fact that they didn't make them suffer an extra 20, well, extra 10 in the first stage because of D. Now, even with the 5-minute head start, Team USA catches up and makes it to the final puzzle at the same time. When I saw this, ladies and gentlemen, I was shook because I'm like, bruh, how did they do this? Paulie, this dude, it's like somebody from Dragon Ball Z came from Planet Namek or something, or Mr. Popo showed up on a cloud, and he just snuck this man a sensu bean, and Paulie said, whoop, whoop, whoop. Ah! It was like he said, Hajime. He was ready to fight, coach. I'm like, damn, Paulie's the anchor on the chain gang, and he telling them we can speed up, we can catch up to them. They're on the shore, just sprinting, catching up to UK, and D is the one holding back UK. And of course, UK tried to use this as an excuse. We wanted Tori to be in your place. They try to use that, to shit on D. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, D was faster than Tori in her puzzle. So stop the hate. That's just how I look at it. Stop the hate, But at the end of the day, of course, by Team USA catching up the way they did, they made Team UK look very scared. And this is where I'm going to get into my biggest hot take and conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting to unleash this. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the final puzzle in this final was rigged so no one could complete it. Recency bias radio finna go down the rabbit hole. Think about it. If it's rigged for no one to complete with puzzle pieces that don't fit, it guarantees the team with the 5-minute advantage always wins the final stage and wins the season. Think about that. You mean to tell me Paulie is out here clutching stuff? He looking like Kobe in the clutch, just closing the game out. He got them shook like, yo, we got to keep our eye on this guy. You mean to tell me it comes down to a puzzle to decide the winner of the season, and all of a sudden Paulie, he leaves it up to Kara? You mean to tell me Paulie, the guy who has been the guy, he leaves it up to Kara? And not only that, Kara has the puzzle figured out, and then all of a sudden there's one piece and she don't know where to put it. Ladies and gentlemen, my hot take is that puzzle wasn't meant to be completed by either side. Wasn't meant to be completed. Because if you give a team a 5-minute head start and both teams have to rely on a puzzle timing out, there is no way to catch up from behind. There's no way. And I think it's whack and I think it's soft that a team gets to split $1 million when they didn't even complete the damn puzzle to win the $1 million. Like, bro, this is blasphemous to me. This is essentially what a participation trophy looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it looks like. Honestly, I would have been better off seeing a tie because neither team could finish the puzzle. Okay, then neither one of y'all deserves to split the $1 million amongst 4. Y'all got to split it amongst 8 in this mug. I would have been like, you know what? That's fair. Or how about this, TJ? How about there is no timeout on any of the puzzles? That way people have to grow and hold their own nuts and actually have to prove they deserve the $1 million. Oh, no. We can't have that because we want a specific side to win. So we're going to guarantee they're always leading the race. That way, if they time out, they're still ahead. Come on, y'all. And I have to ask this question. Would TJ have nicked an extra 10 minutes off Team USA if Paulie didn't come through so clutch in that first puzzle tonight? Think about all the time Paulie made up single-handedly with that puzzle. The same one UK timed out on. You mean to tell me you gonna charge them another 10 minutes when it was UK's fault while they bamboo broke and they had to carry those bags individually? And you happen to wait to do it after Paulie pulled off his heroics? Then you threaten to watch him and might medivac him? It was almost like they was trying to warn Paulie, hey man, you looking like Michael Jordan. It's not in the cards for you to be Michael Jordan. Play your position. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know what y'all saw, but that's what it looked like to me, coach. It looked like production got scared. Boy, shivy me timbers. They were trembling in their little Ugg boots. Let's call a spade a spade. They saw Paulie about to pull off one of the best come-behind wins of all time, and he would have won with Kara, which production did not want that to happen. Okay? Let's provide that context. And imagine if Paulie and Kara would have won this season during the same season Jordan and Tori got engaged. Production couldn't have that. No. So they charged them with 10 minutes to offset Paulie's heroics in the puzzle. And then they give a 5-minute head start to UK to guarantee the heroics never play a factor in the final stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the most on-point conspiracy theory of the season I've come up with. Because it makes no sense. Why would you put $1 million on the line and not force anyone to complete the puzzle for it? That don't even make sense. Imagine if Survivor did that before a fire making challenge, right? You know that competition in Final Four to determine the fire making challenge? Imagine if they said, hey man, y'all can just time out. And whoever's been playing the game the best up until this point, you ain't got to do fire making. Wait, what? That don't even make sense. It's essentially the same philosophy. It's the same exact philosophy, dog. Dog, I'm really keeping it a bean with y'all tonight, man. Listen, if some of y'all have not seen this episode yet, trust me when I say this. When you watch this episode, when you see TJ say, you get a 5-minute advantage for completing stage 1 first, you're going to be like, bruh, he didn't charge them 10 when D rammed against them. He's charging them 10 because D rammed against them. Paulie makes up for it with his heroics, and then they give another 5 minutes. It's like, bruh, at what point did Team UK have to earn the victory? At what point? All I saw was them being, bro, this legitimately looked like the 0-1 Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings. That's how this finale looked, ladies and gentlemen. This looked like a team allowed to elbow people in the face, low blow people, travel. No matter what, they're going to get the call. And the other team have to be the professional ones and keep their heads on straight and not lose it among this riggery. And when you add this context to it, it makes Team USA even doper, bruh. Even doper. Cara, Paulie, who else made it? Ninja and Zach. Y'all deserve to win that. Y'all deserve to have $250K respectfully. And see, imagine how this changes the course of history in the challenge. Paulie isn't invited back for 35. They say he doesn't pass a psych evaluation. Look, if a guy gasses out like that and he's still smarter than everyone else to complete a puzzle, he's not crazy. He's not crazy. In fact, he might be the most mentally strong guy in the cast. But y'all are creating this narrative that he's crazy, so he's not brought back. Cara doesn't come back either. And who knows? Maybe Cara didn't come back because she knows she was robbed. I would love to have an interview with Cara and Paulie. I would love it. Because after what I just witnessed, they might be the most robbed. They might be the most robbed team of all time. Like, seriously. Because you got people clowning them. You brought a whole bunch of layups to the final. Bro, they still almost won with those layups. If it's officiated correctly. Doesn't that show how great they are? Not how bad they are? Meanwhile, you got Rogan, CT, Jordan, Tori, and D. All 5 of them are good competitors. I've been telling people from the get-go, D was a good competitor based off last season. You look at Team US. I personally believe all of those was good competitors too. I don't think none of them were bad competitors. But when you rig the competition a certain way to make sure you make them pay just for having more women, and you put the type of extra weight on their gurney you would only do to extra men on the team, you are essentially writing their death note. And for Paulie to come up with a Monster Reborn card, put it on the dang field, and then bring back his blue eyes white dragon and unleash the forbidden jutsu on society, only to have TJ go, hey guys, plot twist. I got extra 3,000 life points for Team UK. Yeah, I know it sucks. You know, it is what it is though. Hey, you got to deal with it, right? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's really talk about it, bruh. They was robbed, bruh. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this further explains why production rigged stage 1 so hard. They knew with Team USA losing 3 people and being behind 5 minutes, and see, that's important context as well. They could have made this 5 versus 7, still giving them the 5-minute advantage, and maybe those extra heads helped Team USA. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that puzzle was never meant for anyone to complete. Because ask yourself, why would Paulie not take the reins on that? And also keep in mind, this was after he was well rested, after the bed with the snake pit. He was in better shape than he was when he completed the other puzzle. In theory, Paulie should have been able to sort that out quickly. But I think Paulie looked at that puzzle and said, this is impossible to do. And then Kara said, no, I got it figured out. And he said, go have at it, babe. I think Paulie knew the rig was in. And I know what a whole bunch of contrarians or conspiracy theorists in reverse are going to say. If they just wanted UK to win so bad, why wouldn't they just rig their puzzle to be easy and rig Team US's to be hard? And then they would have Team UK winning, completing the puzzle, and they still win. And it looks a lot worse on them, Dave. It's because it would look more suspicious for Paulie to not be able to complete a puzzle, but Team UK can 20 minutes after he completed a puzzle and Team UK couldn't. Think about that. It would look too suspicious. So instead, they gave them some Jimmy rig puzzles that couldn't be completed. We figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. This is like the Hardy Boys or something. This is like Goosebumps. We figured out the mystery. You know what I'm saying? This Scooby-Doo, bro. Scooby-Doo, the Challenge Edition. Rant God. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it all the way of being with y'all, man. So at the end of the day, losing 3 people in Cam, Leroy, and of course, Ashley. I don't believe those 3 necessarily would have been great at the puzzle stage, but I definitely think Cam is underrated in her puzzle prowess. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Ninja completed her puzzle first and got to the final 8 first, and she had no say in that puzzle. That's very telling. Paulie was the best puzzle player in the game left. He had no say in that puzzle. That's very telling. That's very telling to me. So at the end of the day, they made this a competition that was impossible to complete for anyone. Therefore, the team with the 5-minute head start was guaranteed to win the game. You feel me? Like at the end of the day, as soon as they said it's a 5-minute head start, y'all could have just fast forwarded the episode. Because I said, bruh, come on, man. You mean to tell me this team is chained up? They 5 minutes behind, chained up. They got the wherewithal, the grit, the tenacity to catch up. Do you think if Team UK was behind this entire final, they would have been able to catch up all these times with less bodies? I don't think so. Like seriously, production, they essentially disciplined Team USA for being clutch. They made them suffer for doing something physically that they probably, and understand production, they have members of production go through. They have a team that does this final to see if it's safe enough and stuff. They did all, they crossed their T's, dotted their I's. They made sure this competition was impossible with all of these disadvantages ahead of time. And Team USA outperformed whatever practice squad they had that did this. They had all the productions completely shook, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's my hottest take. The puzzle was not meant to be completed on either side. Therefore, Team UK was handed the win, and they didn't have to prove they deserved the win by actually completing the final puzzle, which I feel like is whack. Imagine if in Final Reckoning, when you had to unshackle yourself and walk across the coals, imagine if they just said, hey, you know what, guys? We're going to not give any of y'all a key, so none of y'all can unshackle yourselves. And the team who showed up here first is guaranteed to walk across the coal first. Y'all would lose it. You would be like, are you kidding me? We sat here for an entire season watching all of this and we don't even get a payoff to see someone earn it? That's whack. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into answer questions because I'm sure y'all got hot takes galore, man. I'm sure y'all do, man. I had to unleash the forbidden jitsu and I had to give y'all my perspective on this. It's a shame that a season with so much potential that started off kind of rocky, got really good around the time everyone got blindsided. And then as soon as one person decided to propose and TJ Lavin decided to hide the ring and hand it to him, you know, from that moment forward, the entire game, the integrity of the game went out the window completely. And it just became the Jordan show. It's a shame. It's really a shame. What? He talking about spiders. You funny. You feel it, Demi? I thought someone was actually sitting behind him. I'm not sure who you were speaking of exactly right there. He really loved her, though. Beta boy. Spoilers suck for real. Yeah, I agree. Dave is spoiling it for me, but I always watch his rant before I watch the episode, so I know it's worth watching. Y'all wild. Them celebrating on the yacht in front of USA was epic. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's epic to you, I'm not going to judge you for that. But when you add the context of how they won, I feel like you shouldn't be celebrating that hard if it was handed to you. You know, I don't know, man. When you truly work for something, the satisfaction you feel within your soul and your heart is different. I feel like their celebration wasn't equivalent to the stuff they did to get there. I mean, CT, he was allowed to essentially not even be a player in the game. He was just a fly on the wall for like 80% of the game. Then all of a sudden he decides, okay, I want to flip to my pregame alliance again, even though I think he never left them, you know, and then CT gets to win the game that way. Like one of the worst games I've ever seen. One of the worst. Man had plot armor the whole season. Rogan, now I give him credit. Out of everyone that won this season, I think Rogan deserved it because Rogan actually had his foot to the fire. Now, granted, Rogan never had to compete in any Prove Ground competition, to my knowledge. He didn't. But at the same time, Paulie and Cara didn't. I can't give Paulie and Cara credit for that and not give Rogan credit for that. So Rogan deserves some credit. To my knowledge, D wasn't thrown in, was she? I don't think D was thrown in. I think after she proved herself in that swimming comp, she never got thrown in. So when you think about it, a lot of people in this final never got thrown in, man. And that shows how loyal this season really was from beginning to end. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I just don't think Team UK deserved it, man. I don't think they deserved it at all. They're the 0-1 Lakers. They're the, I'm trying to think, what year was that? They're the 88 Lakers. When Kareem got that phantom foul call to get them free throws, so Isaiah Thomas on a bad ankle couldn't win the ring in Game 7 in Staples. That's who they are. They get the phantom whistle. You feel me? But that's my thoughts on that. So UK wins. That means the last two seasons of War of the Worlds have gone to someone not from the US. Well, I mean, I guess D, Rogan aren't from the US, but Jordan won, CT won. So technically it's 50% US winners, technically. And when you add the fact that they were part of a pregame alliance that was predominantly Team USA to begin with, this was a win for the pregame alliance. Rogan and D just happened to be along for the ride to an extent. I have a question for you. If you read this, let us know if you are taking, okay, I am taking questions. They should have made the final four. They should have made the final 4v4 from the beginning. I couldn't agree with you any more than that, Neon. At the end of the day, coach, 100%. If they would have made that trail, that 16-mile 4v4, we would have seen both teams exhausted. We would have seen no weight disadvantage. We would have seen no one trying to ram into each other because they both are suffering equally. Okay, it changes the complete dynamic of the competition. Also, add to the fact that if it's down 4v4 and it's the same number, who were the two main people in UK that were suffering on the puzzles? At the beginning, last week, it was Rogan and it was D. If both of those people suffer the same way in the first stage, 4v4, UK is behind considerably. Then it leads to the other puzzle where Paulie dominates. Bro, it could have easily been flipped with a plus 25 Team USA if this competition was fair from the front, from the beginning, I mean. Antonio says they weren't layups. Leroy and Cam carried and Ashley motivated the team. I guarantee you, I agree with you. The useless ninja completed the one puzzle quick as hell. I got to give you credit on that. You know, I don't know where Ninja got that from. It's like she unlocked some chakra and she went ham on that puzzle. I was like, dang, Ninja. Did they accidentally give Ninja Tori's puzzle? Let me stop. I'm trolling. Let me stop, coach. I know production's like, damn it. I knew we should have gave her that side. You know, I know production's stumping their feet together. Like, damn, we wanted that moment. Oh, man. It's definitely, the fix is definitely in, Miss Selena. It's the clue game. Paulie did it in the conservative with Ninja's brain. I don't know if you meant to say conservative. I have a question, but it is about Survivor. TJ said this was the hardest finale. Definitely think it was hard, but do you think it was the hardest? Back then, they usually would scale a mountain at least. I agree with you, Neon. I don't think this was the hardest final at all. I believe that snake pit with the bed thing, that made it not the hardest final. That actually made it a cupcake final because you brought beds. Like, What? I'm used to people being in the frigid cold, having to huddle together and low-key cuddle with each other and spoon to stay warm in the middle of a final. I'm used to them having to eat tons of food, run miles after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just used to a lot more stuff, bro. The fact that Paulie was really the only dude who really threw up, it just goes to show this wasn't the hardest final. It was the hardest final on Team USA because it was meant to be, but it wasn't the hardest final from a macro perspective. I don't think so. Will you cover the reunion? Nah, reunions ain't my thing. Keep it all the way a bean with you. I'm more of a strategic guy. And let's be real, reunions are, look, at the end of the day, the reunion is going to be the wedding. It's going to be the honeymoon. I'm not here to watch that. I might not even watch it live. I'll probably watch it on demand. You feel it, dig me? I'm not interested. You know, Jordan has his jackass handlebar beard. I'm not trying to deal with it. I'm not trying to deal with it. You know, he's ticking all the boxes of a troll next week. I'm not looking forward to it, coach. I'm really not. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, B. I'm cool. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. I wonder if he said that to her as they was heading to the honeymoon, to the reunion. Come on, babe. This is going to be all about us this episode, babe. Yeah, babe. You know? Sound like he trying to audition for an episode of Baywatch. Come on, babe. You know? Like, bro, if you don't calm your surfer dude ass up, boy, I don't know, man. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna cover no reunion. That's never been my style, coach. Never been my stilo. But yeah, man. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna give my thoughts on Twitter when I do watch it. So y'all gonna hear me get it in. Dave would rig it, Swaggy? Are you saying I would rig it for Swaggy? Or are you saying would? Maybe he's asking a question. No, I wouldn't rig a single competition for nobody. Because I'm a firm believer in if you deserve to win, you deserve to win. The only reason why I go so crazy when it comes to how black people are treated, juxtaposed to how white players are treated, is because it's the unfair side of it. That's the reason why I go so hard on production, because they consistently create unfair advantages for their favorites. And see, the thing is, their favorites will have a lot more clout and a lot more credit if they earn the win. That's what they're not understanding. You know, wrestling has the same problem. They try to force you to like certain faces. We're not ready to like that person. You're letting them squash all these other people we actually do like that makes us hate the person. You see what I'm saying? Same thing can apply to reality TV. If you go out of your way to make someone likable just because you like them so much, just because they kiss your ass when it's time to give interviews and confessionals, do not expect people to follow suit that watch the show. Because all of us are into different things, right? We definitely are. But at the end of the day, for us to go through this journey, all of these big players get blindsided one by one. And remember what I said at the beginning of this season. If Team UK wins this season, it is 100% Laurel, Josh, and Johnny Banana's fault. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to give y'all payoff, because this is on you, Laurel. This is on you, Josh. This is on you, Bananas. Y'all were so scared that Wes would play the same game Jordan wanted to play, that Bananas wanted to play, but on the other side, that y'all threw a competition just to get him up out the paint. You feel me? And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that led to all of y'all getting sent about the paint. Now, Josh lasted a little longer than the rest of y'all, but he lasted longer than the rest of y'all because he's strategically challenged compared to the rest of y'all. That's why he lasted so long. It wasn't because of his individual strength. Let's be honest, Johnny Bananas. Shoot, Laurel is stronger than Josh as a woman. Okay? Let's not kid ourselves here. You feel it, dig me? Like Laurel on the Brienne of Tarth side of the game. She like that character from the new Star Wars trilogy, boy, with the all silver on, coach. You feel it, dig me? That's her. You know what I mean? But yeah, so without a doubt, I don't want it to be lost here that this is all Laurel and Josh's fault for playing emotionally at the beginning of the game. They put us down this road. And at the end of the day, I think Team USA probably would have had it rigged in reverse in their favor if the pregame alliance was able to outlast Paulie's side. But because Paulie's side pulled off a masterclass, production made it their goal to sabotage Team USA to justify everything Jordan and Zach were saying. It's a shame, but it's the truth. E. Brown Jr. had a question above. Hold up. Okay. If you were a producer for the show, how would you change it for next season? Hold on, let me get some water. I like that question. Hold up, coach. I rocks with that, E. Brown. Hold up. If I was a producer, hold on, let me read that one more time. I had to wet the whistle. If you were a producer for the show, how would you change it for the next season? Number one, I would get rid of 2 teams, because now that we've seen how a 2-team season ends in this era, this new era, you are penalized for dominating throughout the season. And because you are penalized for dominating, you're incentivized to lose on purpose the entire season and just be the last. You know, it's almost like the reverse pagonging strategy in Survivor. And the more I think about it, and whoever brought up Survivor a second ago, I believe it was Ghost, could have been Neon. I think it was Ghost. In Survivor, if a team loses on purpose, and yeah, like I was saying, in Survivor, if a team is down to the last 2 people, maybe even 3 people, and the average tribe only starts off with about 6 or 8, understand, ladies and gentlemen, usually when the merge comes, they're less likely to pick them off because they view them as weak. That leads to the 2 bigger tribes of 6 going at each other over the other tribe of just 3. This is how certain players in the past won the game, because people started to overlook them and view them as someone they can pick off at any moment. It seems as if the challenge has almost taken up some of that philosophy. But instead of explaining it well and making it make sense and making it up to the players to allow that to happen organically, they have forced the pace of it, and they have created a landscape where if you're down to less players, we'll just create a rule where the team is penalized for having more players. Instead of making some of them sit out of the competition, instead of making just weeding them out, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to let you keep your numbers, have a false sense of security and confidence, and then we're going to rig it against you. Then we're going to make you lose half of your team before the end of the game, right before a puzzle that's impossible to complete. So the team with a 5-minute head start automatically wins. Ding! It's a shame. But to answer your question about 35, what I would do. First things first. Like I said, get rid of 2-team format. Number 2, I don't want duos either. I want the game to be an individual game. That way players can get full credit for getting someone to flip. Vice versa, it isn't forced that they flip based off a duo's twist. I like the tribunal aspect of it, but I think we need to get back to voting on people, because I think the strategy of how people got voted in Final Reckoning was very interesting. If they confuse the tribunal of today with the voting of Final Reckoning, I think you have the perfect setup to make the edit understandable as to why someone gets thrown in and why someone competes against them inside. I think the 90 minutes has to stay as a standard as well. That was a great evolution in the game. So if it's up to me, you keep 90-minute episodes, you get rid of the 2-team format, you get rid of the duo format, you make them individual players with a tribunal, with the voting from Final Reckoning. And if you're going to do a purge, okay, don't wait until the people that you have that are your favorites are in harm's way to do a purge so they can come together like Rachel Wiley and Jordan Lloyd and BB13. Don't do that. That's whack. That's whack. Make them hold their own nuts. You feel me? And I think you could have a good season. And going into 35, I'm not very optimistic. I told y'all, have low expectations for 35. There's spoilers running rampant everywhere. And you seen me. I went out of my way. Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago talking about how one guy is going to be, hey guys, my friends are doing well, like trying to clout chase off of their success. Now I seen some girl went in on them earlier today. And I'm like, damn. So I was peeping game on that in the cut. I'm like, see, this is why you should just shut up. That's why you should just shut up, you know? But that's the problem, man. A lot of people, I personally believe, are jealous at the fact that certain people from BB20 made it on 35 and certain people didn't. That's just how it is. I think certain people are definitely jealous. And I think they hide their jealousy behind being happy for others. But really, I think they're just being happy in public for certain people so that person can recommend them for the next season. It's really them playing the game of Big Brother outside of the game. But that's a little too deep. But y'all get where I'm coming from, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, D and Georgia had a fist fight? Wait, what? Hold up, coach. Wait a minute. What did y'all just say? There's a fist fight at the reunion. Dang! Why would D and Georgia fist fight? Well, Georgia did kind of talk down to D and make it seem like D wasn't nothing for going back to Rogan when Georgia was going back to Bear. Grizzly Bear. So it's very possible that they could have fought over that. But see, D won the game already. I think if they do get into a scrap, it's because Georgia, like real talk, fam. I think if D and Georgia get into a fight, it's 100% on Georgia because D is coming off winning the game. She ain't got no reason to be mad. If anything, Georgia's the one salty. And I think most likely she's going to be salty about the fact that all of them blindsided her and that led to her going home, you know? And see, wasn't Georgia the main one saying, none of you will win for doing me like that? You know, even Theo felt that way about Team UK at one point. But he couldn't have, well, no one on Team UK could have foresaw that it was always in the cards for Jordan and Tori to just join them and steamroll because of a rigged rule set. But understand, ladies and gentlemen, I 100% think Georgia is jealous of D, okay? D is more attractive than Georgia. D has never had to wear blackface to have approval from people like Georgia. D doesn't have to constantly compete with Bear. D was cool with Kaylee, who was flirting with Bear. And see, this makes Georgia even more of a coward. Why ain't you fighting Kaylee? You see what I'm saying? You gonna fight with D? You ain't gonna fight with Kaylee? The one that you blamed for getting thrown in and getting eliminated completely? You ain't gonna fight with her. And see, I saw the preview of the reunion. Georgia admitted to, I think Bear admitted to sleeping with Georgia the night before the reunion. So Georgia, she's still a little thought pocket. Thought pocket, ding. You feel me? She a little Totino pizza roll running around. You feel it, dig me, coach? You know, and you know, in hindsight, after seeing the finale the way I saw it, I'm happy that I saw that clip of Paulie frying the crap out of Georgia, saying, you wore blackface, you wore blackface. You know, in hindsight, I'm so happy I saw Paulie say that to her. I believe they were in the UK when he said that to her face, by the way. And it's funny because shortly after that, they said he couldn't pass a psych evaluation, almost like they were trying to protect Georgia. But that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, production would have loved for us to come out of this season thinking Paulie talks a big game, but he didn't live up to it. But honestly, Paulie gave us the true plot of a superhero, ladies and gentlemen. He started off strong. He faced adversity, and it was gut check time. He had to see how badly he wanted it. He rise above the adversity, and he even did something people thought was impossible in bringing his team back, only for at the last second for them to go, nah, no one wins this. Like it's Final Fantasy 9 or something. Everyone loses. You know what I'm saying? And TJ basically just hit the planetary devastation button, and he guaranteed Jordan won the game. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Georgia on IG, boy, Georgia ain't nothing, bro. Like, dog, there's like 40 Georgias in Kentucky. I'm being honest with you, bro. Like, there's nothing special about Georgia, bro. And when you look at how thirsty she is for Bear, trust me, there's thousands of Georgias out here. But you know what they ain't thousands of? There's not thousands of Cams. Let's really call it what it is. There's not thousands of Cams, okay? It's where you get a girl with that skill set. Smart, strong, intimidating, compassionate. Georgia don't have all those skill sets. Most of those skill sets were almost uploaded into her like a chip by production. Like she's almost like Mega Man. They're just uploading new firmware into her wrist. Like, oh, she can do this now. And we're supposed to just believe it. Oh, she upgraded. No. We don't believe you. You need more people. Okay? I'm trying to think, who else, what other girl would I rank above Georgia? Of course, I would rank Tori above Georgia. I believe Cam and Tori are 1-2 for the strongest women in the game, heading into 35. Now you got to put D as third place. I personally believe. Well, I guess you got to put Ashley third and D fourth. But at the end of the day, I mean, strong competitors, man. Now, do I think you can find an Ashley anywhere? Yes. Do I think to an extent you can find a D anywhere? Yes, because I have to be consistent. If I'm going to criticize Georgia for something, I got to criticize D for the same thing. But at least D won the game. So I'm going to give D some credit there. Now, granted, did she win the game off merit? Not really. It was handed to her. It should come with an asterisk on Wikipedia. Matter of fact, someone in the RBR community put an asterisk next to their stuff on Wikipedia, coach. Let's stand the test of time, okay? We finna put an asterisk in the time capsule of the challenge history. You feel it, dig me? Because they don't deserve it. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been my final rant of the Challenge 34, entitled Beaten, Battered, and Bruised, ladies and gentlemen. I truly appreciate all of y'all coming through and sharing this moment with me, sharing this entire season with me. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, this was a test run. The real season will be 35 because the people I truly rock with the most are going to need my expertise to break down what's going on the most. And I plan to have their back at a moment's notice, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you, if you thought this season of rants were explosive, and if you've never seen a season of me covering Swaggy's gameplay, y'all about to get, this gonna be some Howard Cosell, Muhammad Ali type stuff, coach. Matter of fact, let me stay black with it. This gonna be some Stuart Scott, Michael Jordan type stuff, coach. Okay? I'm gonna keep it all the way up bean, and y'all gonna be thoroughly entertained. And everything I peep game on, please believe I'm gonna bring it to the light, coach. I'm going to bring it to the light. So I hope you all have enjoyed yourself this season, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dave Smith, a.k.a. Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game, Ultra, Smith Dog Trill, the Rant God, the red-pilled Red God to be exact, Hotep Thanos, all of the above on that ISET test and ACT. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And on the right side of my channel's page, oh, look at it. Please click on that bell. That way you could be here with the most lit live chat in the Challenge 35 history. Bar none, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. Have a very Merry Christmas, because I won't see you until after that, right? And I will see you all in 2020, and we gonna get it cracking. You really dig me, coach? And if you haven't, check out my videos on why I'm supporting Nick Cannon and his beef versus Eminem. I'm sure you all will enjoy yourselves with a few laughs. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Peace.